My God, ISIS is taking over the Middle East.
The holy war is here.
The reality is we have people trying to kill us.
They're not a JV team. They're not on the run, and we're not winning.
You know, you're talking to the president here, not the referee at your kid's Mighty Might football game. And Cody was not offsides. Look, we do need a straight answer on this whole no-say Islam thing, Mr. President. Please explain.
I want to be very clear about how I see it. Al-Qaeda and ISIL and groups like it are desperate for legitimacy. They propagate the notion that America, and the West generally, is at war with Islam. We must never accept the premise that they put forward, because it is a lie. Nor should we grant these terrorists the religious legitimacy that they seek. They're not religious leaders, they're terrorists.
Oh, God. 6 years into his presidency, 6.5 years into his presidency, and this man still thinks that he can persuade us through reasoned argument. I mean, have you met us? Oh, you have a rationale. I withdraw my freak out. So the president has made a very conscious attempt to avoid the word Islam, assuring critics that this is a deliberate choice designed to deny ISIS any further propaganda fuel. It's the type of restrained strategy that is somewhat undone every time one of our sky-based killing robots mistakes a wedding for a terror training camp. Anyway, but that's always been Obama's problem. Obama thinks if he just sits down and explains things to us in a calm, reasoned, slightly annoyed tone, everyone will get it. It's what the medical community calls MSN Besiege. It's a condition where one uses facts and research to refute opponents, delivered whilst bespectacled in a tone suggesting, you can't believe you have to explain this to these idiots again. Symptoms include cancellation. Mr. President, that kind of argument's not going to reach your opponents. They only respond to emotion. It's a total communication breakdown. Here's how you know. Listen to the president's critics' plans for what the president should be doing to fight ISIS, and then listen to what we are doing to fight ISIS.
Could we increase airstrikes and pound ISIS even more?
The U.S.-led coalition has launched almost 2,500 airstrikes against ISIS.
We need to do it by building up a big coalition in the Middle East.
America will lead a broad coalition.
We need to completely annihilate ISIS.
We will degrade and ultimately destroy ISIL.
For him to downplay this threat.
ISIL is a threat not only to Iraq, but also the region, and ultimately, over the long term, could be a threat to the United States.
It's like those people complaining about Obama. It's like people that complain about a TV show, but have never seen a TV show. Like New Girl. It's actually pretty good. I know the whole adorkable thing was off-putting, but Schmidt's hilarious. Winston and Cece. I mean, come on, funny and beautiful. Right now, she's just the cock holding this crazy... Been catching up on Hulu. You see, unfortunately, no matter what the president outlines, this is the strategy his opponents are looking for.
How would you deal with ISIS?
I would go very, very hard and very, very strong. No details, no strategy, just military porn talk. The president's got to go balls deep into ISIS in every orifice possible all night long until it screams with surrender. Like most things that have spent the night with me, it'll wish it had never been born. So, both sides fundamentally agree on the need to blow up a lot of bad guys. This is really just a disagreement about tone. Isn't there some way we can bridge that gap? Have Obama keep this, but also use this and a little of this. Of course, it would help to have some sort of production department schooled in editing and graphics, but who even has that kind of access to roll the solution?
I want to be very clear about how I see it. Al-Qaeda and ISIL and groups like it are desperate for legitimacy. They propagate the notion that America, and the West generally, is at war with Islam. We must never accept the premise that they put forward, because it is a lie. Nor should we grant these terrorists the religious legitimacy that they seek. They are not religious leaders, they're terrorists.
Rudolph Giuliani. If you're a New Yorker, you may remember him as the mayor who replaced all of your porn and drugs with M&Ms. And you end up eating a bunch of green M&Ms. Makes you horny, and then you got nowhere to go. Well, America's mayor is back.
Giuliani was speaking at a private dinner at Manhattan's 21 Club, featuring Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker.
Saying to the crowd, quote, "I do not believe, and I know this is a horrible thing to say, but I do not believe that the president loves America."
Here's what's crazy. Speaking at a private Republican dinner at the 21 Club, and you have to warn your audience that you're about to say something horrible about President Obama. That's how bad this was. Horrible Obama things are what they paid money to come here. They even called the dinner horrible shit about Obama, a private conversation with Scott Walker and Rudy Giuliani, and yet you still had to say, this is too far for that. So clearly, Mr. Mayor, you know the drill. You went too far. Reel it in as best you can.
I'm not questioning his patriotism. He's a patriot, I'm sure.
Actually, that is literally what you did. That is the literal definition of what you did. Patriotism is love of country. Unless you're questioning his ability to love, period. Perhaps that he's some type of robot sent from the future to destroy America by giving us health care, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty offensive, but I feel like there's still room for what you said to be just a more offensive. Mr. Mayor?
I am at a stage of real worry for my country. ISIS, ISIL, Al-Qaeda, very dangerous, horrible people. You know, President Obama didn't live through September 11. I did. President Obama didn't almost, have a building fall on him. Myself and my police commissioner and my fire commissioner did.
Shut up. You know you're not the mayor of 9/11, right? You don't own 9/11. You don't own anything but the unique willingness to crassly exploit it. Here's how far out in the deep end Giuliani was on this.
Mr. Mayor, do you want to apologize for your comment? You can understand the differences between you, but to condemn his patriotism, to question his love of America, doesn't mean he doesn't love America. I mean, he was raised in part by his grandparents. His grandfather served in World War II.
Hey, big deal. You know who else served in World War II? Hitler. He didn't love America. I'm sorry. Mayor Giuliani, you must have made a mistake. You must have thought that you went to visit the old 9 p.m. Fox time slot. You were looking for safe haven for your deranged right-wing views. You're going to have to go on the show that's now after Meghan's.
If you really love somebody, let's just say somebody, do you fundamentally want to transform them?
Thank you, Sean. Yes, the old Obama fundamentally transform America comment that Republicans have taken out of context since 2008. I see what's going on here. Their real problem with Obama is that he loves America in spite of its flaws, not by ignoring them. But isn't that a more honest kind of love? I mean, Mr. Mayor, if I may, you used to rock this look. Until someone who loved you said you need to fundamentally transform your cabeza. And you listened. But maybe we should ask younger Giuliani what he thinks about changing things that you presumably love, like 20 years ago or so.
Dream with me of a city that can be better than the way it is now. I ask you to give me a chance to make change happen for us. Don't let those